Nobody got hurt, but he went after the right person he wanted his voice heard. He was crying out for help.
Crying out for help, then sitting months in jail waiting for that help. That man arrested after stalking the governor and his family.
A judge declared him mentally ill and not competent to stand trial, putting him in a waiting game. Now the 8 News Now investigators learning as he rejected any treatment in jail while waiting for a state mental health bed as required by law. Stanley Weaver refused medication, refused to eat, and tried to kill himself.
He's a good kid. He shouldn't be treated like a criminal.
That criminal, in the eyes of the justice system, is 28-year-old Stanley Weaver, son to Melissa and Stanley Jr., brother to Brittany.
He was sitting here now.
You would have no clue.
You wouldn't have a clue.
Never know that Stan, as his family calls him, is battling schizophrenia.
Governor Joe Lombardo murdered a man.
A mental health battle boiling over in March when Weaver went to this home. A home where he believed Nevada Governor Joe Lombardo lived. Weaver's family says what would eventually end in Stan's arrest was more than a year in the making.
It was a relief that he was going to get help. It was a big relief.
At some point in the spring of 2023, Stanley Weaver started to harass the family's upstairs neighbor.
At what point did you want to move?
It was around the time that he chased me in my car around the neighborhood. Yeah.
The 8 News Now investigators previously interviewing that neighbor, records show Billy Vosberg called police on Weaver 7 times before Vosberg had enough and moved.
Just messing with that man, just doing stuff that's not normal, breaking out the windows and, messing, just people that he don't know.
Other documents revealing Weaver was a, quote, constant problem in the neighborhood. And by October 2023, police arrested him for DUI.
Are you Mr. Weaver?
Clark County District Court Judge Christy Craig ruling Weaver incompetent to stand trial because doctors determined he didn't understand the charge against him. That charge, a misdemeanor, in that judge's decision, leading him not to one of 2 inpatient mental hospitals, but to an outpatient mental health program for misdemeanors.
The state of Nevada is going to consider dismissing the charges against you if you go to the hospital, talk to the doctors, go to all your appointments, and stay out of trouble. Can you do that?
Yes.
That's terrific.
Weaver received outpatient treatment at Ross and Neal, a Las Vegas psychiatric facility. On the day he came home,
he wrote a note to his dad, "Dad, should I burn down the house? ?
And a few days later,
the neighbor called and said, your house is on fire. So he's redoing it.
Months after that fire, as the Weavers cleaned up, Stanley Weaver was posting videos like this.
Governor Joe Lombardo killed the man, and they're not doing about it.
Court records show Weaver finished that misdemeanor diversion program, but did not attend a follow-up appointment. Without knowledge of the continued harassment, Weaver's original case was dismissed.
Has he stayed out of trouble? Can we dismiss and close? This case is dismissed and closed.
Amid that dismissal,
I've been calling, but I kept getting his name wrong. The governor out here killed somebody.
Weaver continued the wild allegation the governor killed that upstairs neighbor. After weeks of harassment toward the Lombardo family and numerous calls to police, nothing was done until the day he showed up on the wrong doorstep.
I just knocked on the door.
Nobody got hurt, but he went after the right person he wanted his voice heard. He was crying out for help.
Metro Police arrested Stanley Weaver on March 4th. More than a month later, on April 17th, Judge Craig ordered Weaver be transferred to a state bed to receive treatment within 7 days. Records show Weaver was not transferred until July 11th, 3 months since that judge's ruling and 129 days since his arrest. Documents revealing he declined medication, was placed on suicide watch for putting his head in the toilet, and went on a hunger strike. All, according to records, because of Governor Joe Lombardo.
He told me that the 911 people told the judge, he told everybody, because he's trying to help himself, before it escalated to this, before it got to the governor. He kept trying to tell.
Now, the Weavers hope their son finally gets the help he needs.
I asked myself, how did I not see it? But he lived his own life. How did I not see it?
Well, Metro contracts with a medical provider for those medical services at the Clark County Detention Center and inside the psychiatric unit. The people in court dealing with this issue every day agree that is not the treatment that is required by law that is supposed to happen at one of those 2 state hospitals. That treatment is supposed to start within 7 days. Stanley Weaver waited 85 days from the date of that judge's ruling, and he's at one of those state hospitals now. The average wait right now, according to a spokesperson, is about 70 days. Metro Police and Judge Craig declined our interview requests for this series.